From the shores of Monster Island to the depths of the Hollow Earth. Not another Kaiju podcast.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Not Another Kaiju podcast. I'm here with Nick and David. It's good to be back. We took a little bit of a break. Not because we decided to, just do a podcast and give up after a few episodes. Sometimes that happens. But
it's because we hate each other and needed space.
Right. It's like a bad roommate situation. I couldn't just up and forgive Jacob after his Gorgo take, so I needed my space.
I couldn't forgive him after his Jurassic Park takes.
We don't know about that yet. That hasn't happened on the podcast yet.
Oh, no.
That was off the air.
I'm time traveling.
But yeah, no, we are back. And what a time to pick up and start recording again. So much news has dropped this week. We got the global push initiative from Toho, where they're investing 15 billion yen in the Godzilla franchise. You got Pacific Rim has found a home and is beginning development. Dr. Grant himself is in the MonsterVerse. And speaking of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, we got that inside look video of Jurassic World Rebirth, and bit of old news, but Primitive War. Primitive War is getting a lot of hype.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then like yesterday or today, Collider did an interview with Wyatt Russell, and he kind of just was like, "Yeah, I filmed Monarch season 2," and I was like, "What? He's back?"
Is that when did that drop again?
Maybe
I think it was either today or yesterday.
I think it was
did
today.
an exclusive interview.
I saw it today, so I assume it was today.
Yeah, it was pretty recent, but yeah, Wyatt Russell talked about filming Monarch, and that was big. That was big news. Like, I didn't think the past people would come back.
I kind of assumed they would. I especially because, at least for me, I thought the past stuff was the most interesting part of Monarch Season 1.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it was the best part of Monarch.
I know a lot of people have been saying this, but the past timeline should have been Season 1, and the G-Day, the post-G-Day timeline should have been Season 2.
I don't know if I agree with that. Season 1 would have been amazing, because all that past stuff was really good. And then the modern day stuff was pretty good, but not as good. So you probably would have had fans drop off with Season 2. I'm glad they combined it.
Yeah.
And that was the whole selling point, right? Kurt and Wyatt playing the same character. It's kind of cool.
I guess, but I'm very concerned about where Season 2 is going to go with Skull Island, because is it just going to be another Kong on an island adventure? The same thing we've gotten for a million times for the past 90 years. I mean, that's why I love what the MonsterVerse is doing with Kong. It's taking him off of Skull Island and putting him on all these crazy adventures elsewhere. So
what are they going to do? What are they going to do with Godzilla and Monarch? Is he just going to come ashore and smash some things and throw a monster around like he's
been doing for 70 years? Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit different. At least Godzilla changes settings. For the longest time, ever since 1933, a majority of Kong adventures have been.
Nick, I don't think that's a fair comparison, because 3 of those movies are remakes of the same movie. That'd be like if they remade
that.
That'd be like if they remade 54 and you were like, "Oh my god, why is it the same movie?"
No, that's what I'm saying, because it's either they're on Skull Island again, or it's a remake. Oh, here we are on Skull Island again. You know what I mean?
I mean, if we want to get down to it, like Godzilla, he's always in Japan again. What's the difference there?
Oh my god, Godzilla -1. Oh, he bites a train again. Oh my gosh, when is he gonna quit doing that?
We are just like dogpiling on Nick right now.
The podcast hasn't changed at all. One of these days, I'm going to be vindicated, where it's going to be me against you guys, and I'm going to be the objective winner.
I'm just ribbing you. But we don't know if Godzilla is or is not going to be in this season. We know that they've teased Kong a little bit, but otherwise we don't really know. So
that seems to be a lot of people's main concern, is that because everyone likes to be like, "Oh, I can't believe the MonsterVerse is so Kong focused. I don't like Kong. I want my Godzilla." And it's like, I don't really care as long as they can tell a good story, and Monarch Season 1 was a very good story, and I imagine that they are going to keep with that level of quality, considering they're sticking with the same creative team.
And what's wrong with Kong? I mean, Kong's awesome. And this goes back to my point. At least the MonsterVerse is doing really interesting things with Kong. Oh, he's in the Hollow Earth, and he's discovering all this cool, wacky shit, and we were introduced to this entirely new ecosystem? Cool. Like, who cares? Like, it's giant monsters.
Kong is, after all, monkey. So that's really all that you really need.
Yeah, Kong's probably going to be on that base if they do the modern story, because they're setting up like the Apex cybernetic stuff. But they could always take him off and then put him back there, so he's, set back in the timeline.
So, in other words, just mess with the MonsterVerse's lore and continuity more than they already have. I mean, that's the only way I can see Season 2 working, if it's going to be centered around Kong.
But there's nothing in the timeline that says that he never left.
Wait, wasn't there an excerpt in the book version of King of the Monsters that says he left to go wrangle skullcrawlers that got off the island after King Ghidorah did the Alpha Call? Or am I just misremembering things?
Something like that. See? Yeah, exactly.
But also
it's a novelization. It ain't canon, brother.
Yeah, the canonicity of film novelizations isn't always. It's usually pretty dubious.
That's true.
Yeah, expanded universes are like that. That's something that I could critique the MonsterVerse for. That's something I wish big universes like this did better. I understand that making all the supplemental material being canon is kind of a pain, because when you want to go back and reference that, people are going to be like, I don't want to read 5 billion comics just to get the story. Star Wars has that problem because all the comic books, all the Marvel comics for Star Wars are canon now. All of them. So, in issue 53 of Dr. Aphra, Darth Vader does this, and now it's canon. And then in the movies, you're like, why did Darth Vader do this? Well, in issue 53 of Dr. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, the point is, it was really cool to see that Wyatt Russell is back. Because I think he's a great actor, and I think he did really good in the show.
I agree. I like Wyatt a lot.
He was one of the best parts of the show, in my opinion. Him and Kurt.
I thought he was really good. So that's where my happiness came from. I was like, oh, he is back. Because all the set photos you saw were on Joe Tippett's Instagram, and it had him and Mari and Anna Sawai, the modern cast. So I just thought they were moving on with that cast and just leaving Wyatt and Anders Holm back in the past because, spoilers, Mari Yamamoto's character is now in the present.
Do you think they're going to have more flashback scenes like in season 1? Or do you think they're going to pull some bullshit where they find him and through some weird interdimensional Hollow Earth reasoning, he's going to come back as a younger version of Lee Shaw? I de-aged.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
Dude, but we do know that Wyatt's back and we don't know Kurt's back. I think Nick might be onto something.
Oh, is Kurt not confirmed to be back?
Kurt is not confirmed to be back. But also he quote unquote, well, he got left behind. We didn't see a body, so Kurt Russell didn't die. But it was kind of implied he's kind of screwed. He left himself behind. So we didn't see him perish. But also, yeah, he's not confirmed.
I think it's safe to assume that it's just going to be more flashbacks told from Keiko's point of view. I miss Lee so much. I remember the moment we shared together. But again, with Monarch, we got it's not just Hollow Earth. There's a space between the Hollow Earth, and you don't need a heave to get there. You can just fall through by yourself, no protection necessary, and you can end up there. Because I think, Jacob, when we discussed season 1 on an earlier episode, I said something along the lines of the lore and rules of the world of the MonsterVerse are pretty much, it's a free-for-all. So anything sort of goes at this point. So I wouldn't put it past them if it's there's a disturbance in the portal and then something just came through and it's Lee and he's young again.
That'd be pretty crazy. But you know what? I'd be here for it. It'd be kind of fun. I think it would be so out there that I'd be here for it. Like, I'd be like, oh, cool, all right. You know, we have a giant monkey with a giant axe. Like, what else is going to happen here? The Godzilla fans are like, I want Space Godzilla. Okay, you want Godzilla, outer space, mutated G cells. Why can't Kurt Russell's character suddenly de-age himself? Whatever, man. It's a TV show. None of this is too serious.
Opens the door for time travel Ghidorah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mecha King Ghidorah confirmed.
Bacon.
Called it. When that happens, refer back to this episode, everybody.
So, I guess since we're on the topic of the MonsterVerse, we want to talk about that latest casting. Since we're just... This is like a news drop episode.
Speaking of Kurt Russell, it's probably the most excited I've been for a MonsterVerse casting announcement since him.
Sam Neill, ladies and gentlemen.
Sam Neill is in the yet-to-be-titled Godzilla X Kong sequel. I
GxK
wish...
3 is going to be a Jurassic Park crossover.
They need to have like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge line where he just channels Dr. Grant.
Don't move.
I do want to shout out our good friend Thirsty Thursday Toys. I was talking with him about this, and he goes, T-Rex roars, Godzilla steps on her, roll credits. Post-credit scene with Godzilla swimming off, followed by a pod of Spinosauruses. Peak cinema. And I said, that's it. That's the whole movie.
And then Sam Neill comes in wearing an eye patch. You really think you're the only king out there?
There's been a lot of speculation on his character. I think the Occam's razor answer, the most simple answer, I really think he's playing Caitlin Deaver's father. I know a lot of people want him to be the bad guy, like Charles Dance in King of the Monsters, because Sam Neill plays a really good bad guy.
He plays a very good bad guy.
In like Event Horizon.
He kind of looks like a well put together villain in his IMDb picture.
Have you seen Event Horizon, Nick?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, Nick.
You should. It's a lot of fun.
You gotta watch Event Horizon.
You should.
Next movie night.
But yeah, he's a phenomenal villain.
Did you ever see that movie Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke? It's that movie where everybody in the world is a vampire and Sam Neill plays like the evil CEO.
It's his role is kind of similar to that kind of vibe in Event Horizon.
Okay.
It's usually put in the same like block, if that makes sense. So but no, I haven't seen that movie. I should, because I hate to keep
bringing up Sam Neill roles, but have either of you seen The Final Conflict, the third Omen movie?
No, I have not seen the Omen 3.
Yeah, he plays adult Damien, and he's actually really, really good.
Amazing.
Do you think we're going to get any more GxK casting drops after this? Because this kind of feels like a we've saved the best for last sort of situation, because I really don't think they would announce like Sam Neill and then just say, oh, by the way, we got these people, these people, these people.
I just think they're in order of who gets signed. That's all. Because they signed Caitlin first. Because she's basically the lead in this movie. So it sounds like Gia is not involved. I'm sorry to those fans of Gia. I think she was a good character. And then it was Jack O'Connell, who we now know plays her brother. And then it was Delroy Lindo, who was a phenomenal actor and actually caught my eye as the big talent before Sam Neill was cast. Because he's in Sinners, which comes out this weekend.
I got tickets to see it. I'm really, really excited.
But he's in a lot of Spike Lee movies, and he's just a phenomenal actor. So he's a great addition. So he was really cool. And then we learned that Trapper was back, which was kind of cool. Kind of a surprise.
You mean the character that just gives them an excuse to play copyrighted music?
I like him, damn it.
I'm sorry.
He's the best thing about the new Empire. I will stand by it.
But that doesn't excuse the fact that the only reason why his character exists is because they wanted an excuse to play copyrighted music. How many movies have done this? Like, oh, he's the quirky comedic relief who loves copyrighted music.
Thank you, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's a good comparison because that was the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was their whole shtick.
But they were.
But it started it. It
Yeah.
started that trend. It started that trend of playing 70s and 80s music. You know, they're dancing, they're carefree. That's Star-Lord, bro.
It's a played out thing that Hollywood does. They know they can't just start playing Kiss in one random scene. So like, oh, let's just have a character that'll be the vessel. He'll be our walking jukebox.
I mean, I don't think they would bring the character back just for that. Like, I have to assume they have something in mind for his character.
But he also had good moments in the movie. I thought he was the strongest part of that film.
Yeah.
I thought his bouncing off with Bernie, I wanted that to come back. I thought that was wholesome and fun. And it was romantic.
Now, GxK it started filming recently, right? I remember seeing that.
Yes, it's filming in Australia right now.
So you mentioned they're doing it in order of signing. Wouldn't them beginning filming means they already have the cast in order? Because isn't that how movies work? I highly doubt they would begin filming. They'd be like, oh, we got Sam Neill. All right, how are we going to write him in this?
Actually, you're partially right. It doesn't matter because they movies are not filmed in sequential order typically.
Well, I know that.
Some of them are, but it depends. It depends on when they're available. If Sam Neill's available in May, then they'll film his scenes in May. But if the scene requires Sam Neill to be there with Caitlin Dever, then he'll be there in April. They don't have to announce it at all. They can just film the scenes and then that's that until it's announced. Sometimes they're cast and the script isn't even done. They write a role in mind and they collaborate on the script. Sometimes the script is done and they send it to the actors they want. It just depends on the production. But that being said, some of these people were cast before we knew about it. It was just ready to release to the public. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
Good example, we all knew that we would be collaborating with G-Fest about, I don't know, 2 weeks before we announced it.
No, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah, let me get to it. I think you're right in the way that now that they're filming, the main players are there. You get me?
right.
The main, like, the top bill. The people whose names will be on the poster. Everyone's there. But, like, minor roles, like, I don't know, Rick in King of the Monsters? Maybe not.
Mikhail, rest in peace.
I had to think about who Rick was for a second.
Exactly. But, you know, the major players are there. Caitlin's core circle is there. Caitlin Dever.
I saw this theory floating around the internet. Do we think Caitlin Dever's character is going to be the little girl on the beach in Godzilla 2014?
No.
No?
I don't see why it would. And even if that was the
They
case,
don't do that. They don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The MCU does. The MCU is what did that. They were like, oh, that little boy in Iron Man 2, that's Spider-Man.
and look how many people cared about that. Even fewer people will care.
But I think in a way where it's like, I was there when Godzilla first made land. My parents were killed. I'll never forgive that fucking reptile.
Man, Nick, you go on a tirade about tried and true kaiju tropes. That's the number one, bro.
Hey, I never said I would be on board if that was the case.
I guess that's
true.
fair.
That's
But
true.
no, I don't think there's any chance of them doing that. Like, I don't think anyone is going to care about that.
She apparently works at Monarch, and her boss at Monarch is confirmed to be Delroy Lindo's character. So,
Or like
That's
her
all.
involvement in the Hawaii attack led her to pursue like, oh, I'm gonna join Monarch. Just to have like some tie back to 2014. That's what a lot of people were like. This is probably what's gonna happen. I remember I even saw one person said, "Oh, she looks just like her."
I'm probably going to catch some heat for saying this. And I guess that's my job on this podcast. This is why the fans don't write the movies.
No, you're absolutely right. I'll go down with that
just sounds
shit.
like fan fiction. And fan fiction's cool, man. Create your own stories.
Especially in this fandom, that statement is 100% valid.
There's a flying Godzilla cave painting. It's Space Godzilla.
If fans wrote the movie, we would have had like 90% of the classic Toho roster in the MonsterVerse by now.
I'm not opposed to that.
Neither am
Just do
I,
it
but it
right.
would be done very, very poorly.
Destroyos going to be the end game villain. He's going to be the
Thanos of the MonsterVerse.
I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but fan fiction is not going to get tickets sold. Like, that's just the brutal truth. Do I wish Jet Jaguar would show up in the MonsterVerse, give a thumbs up, and kick Scar King into a building? Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah.
But there are a million very talented 3D animators in the community who do that on YouTube. Like, all that fan service, Destroy in the MonsterVerse, the Smog Monster showing up to fight.
Oh, and yeah.
Like,
we love that.
Lost Utopia Films is making incredible fan films based off that concept. Not so much in the MonsterVerse, but he's mixing elements of the MonsterVerse. He's pretty much mixing all elements of Godzilla and making this incredible cinematic universe, for lack of a better word. So if you want Destroya to fight Space Godzilla and team up with Godzilla 2014, I'm sure somebody has made it in Blender.
And we will support that here all the way. 100%.
Anyways, moving on. Do we want to talk about Pacific Rim? I mean, I know we haven't gotten to the Toho news yet, but I think we should save that for last.
I hope it doesn't suck.
I'm just happy to get something. I am so glad Pacific Rim's not dead.
Somehow it's not dead. I feel
it keeps on coming back. It's like a zombie.
It's Schrodinger's franchise, really.
Is it dead? Is it not?
I don't know. I would have put money down that The Black was the last thing we were ever going to see of that franchise, and now we're still getting a TV series. I totally forgot that got announced. However long ago that was, I don't remember.
I think that was like sometime last year. That's what the article said.
So I'm excited. I mean, I saw Pacific Rim at a midnight screening at its opening weekend premiere at G-Fest in the Pickwick Theater.
Oh my
God! Show.
Oh my God! That sounds incredible.
That was one of the most fun screenings I've ever had. And that was back when I was a teenager. And I will say this. The screenings were a little different back then. A little different. You know, it was still rowdy. It was still woo. It was still clapping. But it was a little more fun, if that makes sense.
Was that your first time seeing it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Opening weekend, Pickwick Theater, midnight screening. 2013 G-Fest.
Was the convention at all involved, or was it just the Pickwick Theater
Just
saying,
circumstance. It came out that weekend.
Nice.
But that made me fall in love with the first movie. I love the first movie. It's so much fun.
It is.
It's great.
I know there's little substance here and there, but man, it's Del Toro. Even when it's mindless fun, he still has a way of making it awesome.
It was the appetizer to the main course of every kaiju media that followed. The kaiju renaissance.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what kicked it off.
Because then we got Godzilla 2014, Shin Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, King of the Monsters, and everything in between.
Live action Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but we don't like to talk about that.
I do.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. But I know it's got its fans.
Anyways, back to Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I know there's a crowd out there that's like, ugh, Amazon, ugh! And to that I say, maybe. We'll see. We don't really know.
Does it really matter
I know that
who's, like, what platform it's on?
Amazon's the distributor. It just, for some reason, people were like, Amazon made Rings of Power, and that sucked. So this is gonna suck.
Amazon also made The Boys and Invincible
Fallout.
and the Suspiria remake.
Well, The Boys sort of fell off, so...
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, season 4 wasn't great.
Depends on who you ask. But, you know, Fallout. The Fallout show's great.
And also, I think the only detail we have creatively is it's from Eric Heiserer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who wrote Arrival, and Arrival is spectacular.
Oh my gosh, Arrival's good.
Arrival's so
To
good.
be fair, we were talking about him in the Kaiju United Discord. He did write Arrival, or co-wrote it, or something like that. He also wrote he did write the Thing prequel and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. So
Oh, well.
Well, they can't all be winners.
yeah, you know. So hopefully he brings his Arrival game, because that came after. So maybe he got better as a screenwriter.
Hold up. Yeah, he also did Bird Box and Bloodshot.
Yeah, you know. It's like David S. Goyer. He writes some good stuff. He writes some bad stuff. So yeah, with Pacific Rim, like, that's all we kind of know. But I did see a comment when we ran the news on KU. I'll ask you guys real quick just to, you know, get some commentary on it. I read a comment that was like, why are we making this a prequel? Who cares? Like, why does everything got to be a prequel nowadays when they bring the franchise back? Why can't they just do another sequel?
Well, they did that before, and it didn't pan out so well.
And they're also
Fair
already
enough.
doing a sequel in that Kickstarter comic that's going to take 3 years to come out fully.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Is that Pacific Rim? I thought that was Monarch.
Yeah, it's Pacific Rim.
But yeah, no, they're doing a like it's basically Pacific Rim
Tales from the
3.
Drift or something?
No, I don't. Tales from the Drift was a comic that came out like a long time
Oh,
ago.
that's right. Yeah, they're doing a new Pacific Rim sequel comic.
What is it called?
It'll be a sequel.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember this.
There's also a Monarch comic coming, yes. you're right.
Yes. I forgot about the Pacific Rim one.
So, to that, I kind of say, my opinion is, think of all the cool monsters that showed up in that, like, opening narration in the original Pacific Rim. And then they showed up in the toy line by NECA. Like, you had, like, Mutavor and Karloff and all these other cool-looking monsters. We can see those guys.
I think it would just be fun to go back to that time, because we only really got that cold open in the first one, and all the information we had to go off of was on the wiki. So, and I would read that shit all the time in high school and be like, man, it'd be so cool to see this battle.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much lore. And by the time Pacific Rim, the first movie hits, there's like 5 Jaegers left. Like, we could see like I hate to make the comparison, but it's for a lack of a better example, Revenge of the Sith. We see all those Jaegers fall, you know?
Or I mean, do you think...
Go ahead.
Do you think maybe they might not even care about the lore that we saw in the first one and just go from the time Gypsy Danger was decommissioned to whenever they started building the wall?
It depends on what story they want to tell, really. Like,
Gypsy is the poster boy.
That's
have
true.
A good point. Like, it would be crazy doing a Pacific Rim thing without some kind of big blue robot. Because even the Black had the big blue robot. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the name of that big blue robot, but it was there.
It was on the tip of my tongue like 2 seconds ago, and then it's just gone. It's just gone.
But, I mean, like Kevin Derendorf, who runs Mazer Patrol, his blog, had a good point to where sometimes prequels struggle because we already know what's going to happen. So I guess that's the challenge of a writer. How do you make that interesting? We know that all but 5 of these robots, Jaegers, are going to perish. How do you make that interesting?
I was so close. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the name of the Jaeger. It was Atlas something, and I knew that. It was Atlas Destroyer.
That's right.
What was the question? I was too busy focused on that.
So, Kevin Derendorf, who runs Mazer Patrol, brought up the prequels kind of suffer a little bit because we know what's going to happen later on. So the challenge of a writer is, how do you make that interesting? Because we know going in that all but 5 of these robots are going to get destroyed. So how do you make that interesting when the audience is like, yeah, we know this robot's doomed, like, why do we care?
They have 2 avenues they can go down to. They can make it about the lore that we saw in the intro of the first one, or they could tell a story of what happened after Gypsy Danger killed Knifehead and to when the Jaeger program is being shut down.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's about all we know about this prequel series. I'm just glad it's happening and that they found a home. And honestly, Amazon's picking up a lot of these kind of properties now. That might be their next angle, because they went after fantasy for a while, and with Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time. Now they're going after gaming and anime and this kind of thing with like Secret Level and Fallout. They have the Gundam movie or whatever it is now, series. I don't know. They have Gundam, I think.
Is that the one? Is that the one the director of KSI was doing?
Yeah, he dropped out though.
Okay.
A while back before it went to Amazon.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like they have Gundam, they have Pacific Rim now, like, and now there's that Ultraman like fast ad-supported streaming channel, the Fast channel. I don't know, man. Prime's doing some interesting things.
I was half paying attention, so when you said the Fast channel, I thought that meant they were going to have a whole channel dedicated to the Fast and the Furious franchise.
No, it's a free ad-supported something. It's FAST. It's basically what they were doing on Tubi, but it's its own channel on Prime now for Ultraman.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know. I might keep my eye out on Prime and see what they're doing.
Some interesting stuff on the horizon. Speaking of interesting stuff on the horizon, I think it's time we address the elephant in the room and talk about all the exciting plans Toho wants to do with Godzilla.
What do they want to do? I haven't paid attention. This is sarcasm, if you couldn't tell. I know exactly what they want to do.
So for those of you that don't know what happened, on Monday, Toho announced they are going to be investing, I think, 120 billion yen to push and grow their IPs in international markets, with 15 billion of that yen designated for the Godzilla franchise. And this comes off of many things, one of which being a lack of interest in Japanese markets and of the obvious growing demand for Japanese film and pop culture in other markets like America, Europe, Canada, etc., etc. And not a lot of details were released about what they want to do with Godzilla. Just a bunch of plans. So like a lot of the news we talked about today, really all we can do is speculate. The one big thing that is confirmed and is a guarantee, the next Yamazaki Godzilla film is going to be a -1 sequel.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of question in the air about that. Like it seems really obvious if you think about it. Like the Oscar-winning movie with Yamazaki coming back to do another Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like a baller move for him to come back and just do a totally different take on Godzilla again. I think that'd be the most fun way to do it. Because it'd be like Yamazaki going, here's -1. You want to see me do it again, but different? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But that's not how this works, you know? He's going to do a sequel. Come on. But we know that it's a sequel because of Bloomberg Japan's write-up on this. It explicitly states a sequel. Mm-hmm. So,
but it didn't say that in the American Bloomberg article. So do you think there's a possibility some wires got crossed?
There might be some mistranslation. Because I know that in the Japanese version, it said home games. And it kind of confused a couple of my peers. And we were like, okay, home games like puzzles and stuff? Tabletop? But in the English version, it says console. So that just might be like a translation thing. Because I admittedly do not know Japanese. I'm just going off of like the Google Translate, auto-translate of the page, right?
Well, also, if you remember, when the first teaser for -1 came out, there was a rumor going around that it shared continuity with Shin Godzilla, and it was quote-unquote confirmed for like a few days until people were like, no, it was just a miscommunication. You don't remember that? That was huge.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember the details.
It was just a mistranslation from something Yamazaki said, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say it was something like, it's the next live action Toho Godzilla film or something like that, and someone assumed that meant it was a sequel to Shin Godzilla or something.
Regardless, Bloomberg Japan confirmed it, and as of right now, it's confirmed.
Yeah, might change. I mean, sequel could have been mistranslated into follow-up, subsequent film. But I think the most realistic scenario is you're making a sequel to your Oscar-winning movie with the same director. He's probably going to bring back some of this core cast. I just think, and he's already done trilogies and sequels before, so I think it's pretty likely. But I remember when the -1 poster leaked because some website, I don't remember who it was, posted the article early. People were like, "That poster's fake," and then the news dropped and it was real. It was very vindicating, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know. But I also think Bloomberg wouldn't really make up a fake Godzilla movie.
No, not someone like Bloomberg.
They're a business website. They're not an Instagram fan page that is like, I heard. You know what I mean? Like, I heard there were 2 Godzillas in -1. It's called Godzilla 0.
They're a reputable source for sure. I trust them.
But I think that's the struggle with, They only send the English press release out when it's ready to go. It's really in the oven. So it's a little more difficult than say like this guy is directing the next Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? I hate to I don't know why I use Star Wars a lot.
That's like your go-to.
There's a lot of comparisons between the franchises and
so
stuff.
Not only the -1 sequel, but the other detail that came out of this news that is generating a lot of hype, the aforementioned console games. So Toho wants to make console games with Godzilla, and everybody said, "Oh my god, Pipeworks remastered, please, 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 please." Which, hey, I'm all here for, but I don't think that's very likely. Does it mean that we won't get a Godzilla fighting game from? Not necessarily, but I highly doubt it's going to be a Pipeworks remaster.
I think the coolest thing they could do, and they already have the relationship going, is just have Passion Republic make a Godzilla fighting game with the engine of Gigabash.
Exactly.
Because Gigabash is a little more loose. It's a little more Smash Brothers-y.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction they'll go in. Am I the biggest Godzilla Save the Earth fan on planet Earth? Yes. Would I like to see my childhood drawings of Godzilla Save the Earth 2 to become reality? Yes. But I just...
Do you have those drawings somewhere?
Yeah, can I put them on screen?
I do have them in a file somewhere. It just says Godzilla Save the Earth 2, and it's like a 10-year-old's drawing of Godzilla.
One day they're gonna make Save the Earth 2, and they're gonna hit you up for official concepts.
I can't draw.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to credit you with a special thanks in the credits.
Exactly. He had how many decades worth of foresight?
Man, hey, as a kid, I would draw King Kong vs. Godzilla 2. And my one of my dreams was another rematch. Like many fans. And it happened.
You really were a true young Godzilla fan.
Yes. I remember playing with my action figures, and my 2 favorite characters were Godzilla and the 2003 Hulk. And now we have Godzilla vs. Hulk. So, like, I'm living large, man. But, on the topic of gaming, like, I mean, what do you guys think? Like, obviously the fans want a fighting game. Would you want something different? Like, one guy was saying, like, an open world RPG where you play as Godzilla and you're just, like, stomping around Monster Island? Like, that's kind of wild.
That sounds fun, but how much could you really do with that?
That sounds like an expensive thing to produce, too. And, like, they're only allocating 15 billion yen. So, I mean, it's not like they have unlimited money to play with. They kind of have to be, conservative with what they spend their money on.
I mean, I imagine that if someone presents them with an idea they like, then they would be happy to throw more money at it. It just depends on what that idea is.
Yeah, exactly. And Passion Republic is probably front of the line for that. And let's clarify here. They said console and mobile games.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah. So for people that are like, oh my god, it'll be Kong Survivor Instinct again. Maybe not.
But history shows that Toho really likes producing Godzilla mobile games. So I wouldn't put it past them if they prioritize the mobile games over the console games.
I mean, they do give Battle Line a lot of love.
Bring back Godzilla Smash 3.
I love Godzilla Smash 3.
That's what I say.
But Jacob, to answer your question earlier, I think, obviously, I'm with everybody else. I want a Pipeworks-like video game. I want a Pipeworks-like fighting game. But if we're not going to get that, I think a good alternative would be something, and I think I mentioned this when we were talking about Cloverfield. You take the role of a human in the middle of a kaiju attack, which could be interesting if executed right. Like, if you're not going to give me...
City Shrouded in Battle.
Exactly. Like,
what is it? City Shrouded in Shadow.
Also, Kong Survivor Instinct.
Well, yes, but...
Now that you mention
David, you didn't hear me. I said if executed properly and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be my wish if we're not getting an arena, if we're not getting a tournament fighter.
I reading the comments on our news posts, like for KU, it's very clear where the community stands on this. They made it very clear.
And if Toho wants a healthy payday and
some money,
everlasting love and support from the fan base, they'll listen and they'll give them what they want.
And I'll add this note too, Nick. People have asked Pipeworks about this. Like the Pipeworks, they get this question like every goddamn day, and their answer has been,
"You know, we make other stuff, right?"
That too, but they said if Toho wants to do it, they'd do it. They're down. I could see, and here's the thing about the gaming industry. They will put out a remaster because at times, depending on the game, it's cheaper to just upgrade the graphics and fix the gameplay a little bit and then put it out as a port than it is to make a brand new game from scratch. And typically, especially with fighting games and franchises coming back, they will put out a remaster to test the waters.
I mean, look how successful someone like Night Dive Studios has been with all of the remasters they've done over the past couple of years. They did the last couple Doom remasters. They did an excellent Star Wars Dark Forces remaster that just came out. That's their whole thing is doing well-crafted, loving remasters of games that people love. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just, again, whether or not Toho wants to do it.
Mm-hmm. And my add-on to what I was saying is, in fighting game world, we see this a lot. Like, they just put out a new Marvel vs. Capcom arcade collection, and that's pretty much testing the waters to see if they should go ahead and make MVC 5. Like, the Crash Bandicoot remasters did so well, they made Crash 4. Are they going to make Crash 5? I don't know. But they made Crash 4 because the remasters sold so well and it was so big and popular. So, I mean, if they were, if they did it that way, they'd put out I would say maybe, I'd say Save the Earth. Save the Earth remaster. I know Unleashed is newer, but it also has those Wii controls, and they don't use that anymore. I guess it'd be a newer game. It'd be easier to, port over to Switch.
Well, it was also on PlayStation 2.
Well, the PlayStation 2 port of that game was basically... it was basically just a shittier version of Save the Earth.
I know that. I'm just saying it's not like the controllers... Like, the control layout is completely dead as far as Unleashed is concerned.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the Wii version had like Titanosaurus, MG74, and so they'd probably do that. They just have to reprogram the controllers, which isn't awful.
Well, I mean, you act like
if they could,
you act like doing all this stuff is impossible. I mean, isn't there a group of fan developers who are literally making this exact thing, Save the Earth Melee?
Oh yeah.
I never said it was impossible. Don't you put words in my mouth.
I'm
Ricky.
just saying you were like, oh, they're not going to be able to do it with Unleashed because it had Wii controls. Meanwhile, a group of fans are putting brand new characters who weren't even in the games to begin with.
My counter to that, Nick, is they're using the Save the Earth engine. I've talked to them. They're porting the models of Unleashed into the gameplay of Save the Earth because Save the Earth is more polished. That was my follow-up to what I was saying. So reason number 2 is Save the Earth mechanically is the best game of that trilogy.
Yes.
So it would just overall, it would save them the time to play with the Wii crap, even if it's not going to be that hard to fix, like you said. But mechanically, that game is just more polished. It's more fluid. The combo system's better. It's one of the best games of all time. But then again, look at what Nintendo did. They were like, no, we're going to put out 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll do all 3. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
If Toho really wants to get crafty, they'll hire the people doing Save the Earth Melee and say, hey, you want to work on something official?
That'd be cool. A
lot of game devs do that. Like Doom. A lot of modern developers on Doom started out making those custom maps when, Doom 93 came out or whatever it was. It depends on the game, the devs, and the community. Some, like Team Fortress 2. TF2, the developers at Valve just decided, hey, we're not really updating this anymore. Here's the whole open source code.
Yeah, Valve.
Here's everything.
They're really in touch with their fans and the community.
Yeah, so it just depends. But yeah, I mean, I since we're on the topic and we're discussing, the console gaming thing was huge. You saw the amount of likes and comments and reactions and shares and stuff dropping that was, Nick.
Yeah, aside from the -1 sequel, that was the thing people were talking about.
That was the big takeaway, man. So, real quick, maybe I'll pitch this to you guys. You are in charge of a Godzilla fighting game. It's got the same kind of engine as the Pipeworks kind of style of fighting, but it's modern day. You have the whole library of the MonsterVerse. Man, Godzilla, I don't know. You got everything. Who are your first 5 fighters?
Ooh.
And I know the big 5, Godzilla, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, Rodan, King Ghidorah. Aside from those guys.
I would go...
Or if you do choose Godzilla, pick a Godzilla design.
Okay, that makes it easier. I would go Zilla. 95 Burning Godzilla. 04 Rodan. No, scratch that. 04 Gigan. Biollante, definitely. And playable Batra.
Okay. As for me, you said first 5. I guess that
first 5, and they can be Godzilla designs.
Okay. All right. Let me think. I don't know how. Well, actually, no. If I'm in control, fuck it. Put Kong in there. Get Kong in a Godzilla fighting game.
Yeah.
I knew I was missing something because I was coming at it from there really aren't that many monsters they haven't put in those Pipeworks games. Fuck, I totally forgot.
I think if to really get it to sell, I think the MonsterVerse is kind of the way to go. So I would say Kong.
Yeah, because the axe. The axe would be good for gameplay.
Yep.
And the fist. Give him the fist and the axe in one hand and the other.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, Kong. I want to do one more MonsterVerse, but I can't. I don't. I'm kind of torn between the Skull Crawlers and the War Bats because those would both be pretty fun fighting game characters. I'm gonna go Skull Crawlers because I think they're a little more well known than the War Bat. Give me my boy Anguirus. 68, of course. This is tough. Let's go Hedera, because Hedera has only been playable in the PS4 game, and that game is not very good, so give him a better chance.
And they did a good job in Giga Bash. He was pretty agile.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot he was in Giga Bash. Last one, King Caesar. He was a lot of fun to play in Unleashed.
I dig it.
I think King Caesar's a really good fighting game pick. You can do a lot with him.
All right. I've thought about this for a while. And outside of Kaiju United, I love fighting games. I love talking about the mechanics of fighting games and all that garbage. So my first round draft pick is Ghidorah of 2019. That's the Ghidorah we will use for this game. I'm sure, skins and stuff, whatever. Throw in all the Ghidorah skins. But the core, in the trailer, you see Ghidorah 2019 land and be all cool. And then you see -1 Godzilla. Because it's the most recent. He's the poster boy of the franchise right now. He's here, and he's going to throw down with Ghidorah 19. So now you're like, okay, the door's open, So there's your MonsterVerse, and there's your -1. Then I'd go and pick. I would do the Gargantuas as an obscure Showa character.
That's good.
And I would model them after the Ninja Turtles in Injustice. So if anyone's played Injustice, you can kind of swap them out. So I would make Gyra more aggressive, more of a brawler. He's coming in close and he's going to hit you hard. Sanda, maybe we can make him jump in the air and do some more aerial combos just to differentiate the two.
Pit him up against King Caesar.
Yeah. So you have Ghidorah 19, you have the Gargantuas as the obscure pick, like when Smash Brothers did Duck Hunt Dog. I love when they do that.
You want to get obscure, Dogora.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. So there's your Showa, there's your MonsterVerse, there's your -1. I gotta give some love to Heisei.
Yeah, you do.
Sadly. I'm just saying, that's a joke. That's a joke.
No, it's not. He's 100% serious.
All right, that's it. So we'll see you guys the next episode in
see you guys.
August. We need another cooldown.
I would probably go with, because all the Heisei monsters I think have been in the games, but I think Biollante could come back and get reworked a little bit and really ham that moveset. As a ranged character, and then they can get in close with the mouth.
Sort of stretch out the vines and pull a character in,
Yeah. And then so those characters all show up in the trailer. Maybe you'd have Jet Jaguar or something, but he's not my fifth pick. My fifth pick would make people go, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
Oh, I can't wait.
You see a you can tell I love the Smash Brothers DLC character trailers. A meteor hits the ground. They all stop fighting.
I know where this is going.
Over Gamera 99.
Okay, I actually don't. I thought you were going to say Monster X.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he would be sick in a fighting game. Yeah, he's on the list too. Number 6.
There we go.
Because I know with Unleashed, they tried because they wanted him to go from Monster X to Ghidorah in a transformation, and that would be so cool. Yeah, I would do him. But for the shock factor, because Gamera's already been in Battle Line, I'd do Gamera. You have the money shot of whatever Godzilla you want. -1 is my pick. But even Evolved would be cool. Think of the speed and ferociousness Evolved Godzilla would be in gameplay. But you have Evolved or -1 and Gamera staring down, WrestleMania style. You're selling some games. I'm just saying.
Contact us, Toho. We got some ideas.
So, if any game developers are listening to this and you magically happen to be working on a console Godzilla game, boy, do I know how to get some butts and seats.
So my question was, as far as content of the game goes, is there anything outside of the main fighting that you guys would include? Because Godzilla Save the Earth had a couple mini games that kept things fun and engaging outside the, pit these two monsters against each other and fight. What would you put in there?
I want that basketball minigame back.
Okay, something new and innovative, Lingle. Come on.
Okay, I got you. In that basketball minigame, you put Charles Barkley.
Oh my God, yes.
And then,
what the hell?
and then all the monsters wearing the Nike shoes, like in the comic.
All right, pack it in, boys. We can't top that. That's a wrap on this episode.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go first. I'll have to think of a serious answer.
I was gonna say, put a realism version in. You make the monsters slow and clunky, and your objective is to just destroy stuff. Because I remember when I played Save the Earth as a kid, I would go like, I just want to destroy buildings, but just like Godzilla does in the movies, but he's too fast. They're moving around too fast. I'm not sure how well that would go with the audience, but I think it as like a little option, that would be neat.
Like a Godzilla sim?
Exactly, yeah.
What about you, David?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything. I'm not. Thing is, I'm not a huge fighting game guy, so I don't know like what would still fit within the bounds of a fighting game, but that would be different? Question mark.
Well, I mean, my answer doesn't necessarily fit in the realms. It's just a mode where you take control of a lumbering heavy monster and just destroy stuff.
I guess that's fair. Well, how about this? How about I take the concept of your answer one step further and just give an idea for a different game.
Okay.
Give me a Godzilla kart racer.
Dude! Oh my god.
Give me a Godzilla kart racer.
I'm down. I'm so down.
Honestly, you know what? In all seriousness, I think that could be done with the mobile games they want to develop.
Yeah. I was also brainstorming, David, on like other different kinds of games. And like a 2D beat 'em up came to my mind.
That already exists actually. It's an unofficial game, but it's on the App Store. Hang on, I need to see.
I mean, isn't that kind of what Godzilla Domination was on the Game Boy Advance?
No, I'm talking like a linear beat 'em up, like Double Dragon.
It's called Godzilla Omniverse. It's a 2D kaiju fighting game.
Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
God, yeah. All right, I see.
The X-Men arcade game. Yeah.
That would be cool. That I feel like that might be the best way to go. If they were to do something other than a fighting game, I think a beat 'em up would be the way to go.
Oh my god, guys! Godzilla Omniverse has 2019 Ghidorah.
Damn, they stole our idea.
Is that? Okay, obscure. But do you guys remember that robot dinosaur toy from like 2002?
What?
I forget the name of it, but I'm looking at screenshots of this game from the App Store, and one of the playable characters looks like a robot, like a remote-controlled robot dinosaur toy that I remember seeing in
Roboraptor.
I think. Wait, was that it?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. And then there was Robo-Sapien.
Yes, it was Wowie Roboraptor.
Yes.
Nick, is it the one with Biollante?
Is it called Godzilla Omniverse?
Yeah, the picture you're looking at is
Roboraptor, dude.
But the picture was with Biollante?
Yes.
Nick, that's anime Mechagodzilla.
It kind of looks. I mean, I've never seen him in that position. He kind of looks like Roboraptor.
He does kind of look like. I won't deny.
You had me so excited as a 2000s kid. I was like, Roboraptor.
Okay, in my defense, I've never seen anime Mecha
Godzilla
Godzilla
versus Robo Sapien.
No, can you see? But you see what I'm saying, right? He's hunched over like Zilla.
No, I absolutely do.
See, my dream game is like a Smash Brothers, but like take the idea of Gigabash and make it even crazier. So like the reveal trailer is young Gary from Reptilian, Reptilicus, and a King Kong from King Kong Escapes, and Gorgo and Godzilla. Just everybody. Everyone is here. But it's like all the major kaiju.
Put Roboraptor in your next game.
Put Roboraptor in the next MonsterVerse movie. Actually, you know what? Fuck the MonsterVerse. Takashi Yamazaki, put Roboraptor as Godzilla's rival in -2.
You know what? Scratch Godzilla. Just make it a Roboraptor movie.
There we go. Now we're talking.
I think the bottom line is the at least the fans, and you have to care a little bit about what the fans want, or else they'll just reject it and you won't sell as well. Is the fans want to play as the monsters? That's what they want. So if anybody happens to listen to this that's involved with that, you just gotta play as the monsters.
Learn from history. Fans, we don't want more mobile games. We just want to play as the monster. It's not that hard.
But you could do mobile games and play as the monster, because people like Battle Line. Not my cup of tea, but people like Battle Line.
No, but I'm talking about, like, you're the monster, topple buildings, fight other monsters.
Yeah, it's a kaiju franchise. Like, be advantageous. Video games are such an open world, It's not limited to a movie. But other than that, like the Toho announcements are exciting. Like, I think personally it'd be really cool to get a Godzilla attraction in the US at like Universal. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. It'd be cool.
Well, I mean, this whole announcement was because Toho wants to expand in international markets. So, but with the Godzilla stuff, they don't really specify, and a lot of it hints that it's going to be mostly in Japan, because they have retail stores mentioned, and they mentioned the Daiba and Shibuya stores, which are already opened and in Japan.
I think my prediction is we'll get one US Godzilla store, and I think it's going to be in Los Angeles.
It'll definitely be in Los Angeles.
Because the international office is in Los Angeles. Second place would be New York.
Dude, slap that shit in Times Square right next to the Tamashii Nation store. Fans will show up in droves.
I'd fly out.
Nick is about to drain his entire bank account.
Godzilla store, Salt Lake City.
But yeah, no, all this stuff is merely speculative and plans, and there's really no guarantee of how much is going to be for the US or other international markets. So only time will tell.
Definitely. Before we hop off, we talk about Primitive War.
Yes.
Looks pretty damn good.
Yes.
Honestly, real talk, blew away my expectations. I didn't know a lot about this, despite Jacob drumming up a lot of hype with KU. I'm not saying this to sound mean, but I was half expecting it to look like an Asylum production, and I was very pleasantly surprised when I was like, holy shit, the amount of polish and obvious love and care that went into this movie. I am so hyped. I'm honestly a little more hyped than I am for Jurassic World.
I'm right there with you. Most of that was because a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, actually all the behind the scenes stuff that we're seeing, no dinosaurs whatsoever. So I was kind of worried, like, what's this going to look like? Is it going to look bad? Is there a reason you're not showing us any dinosaur stuff? But then this trailer came out, and all those fears just kind of fluttered out the window.
From my perspective, it's been really fun, because I was talking to David before we recorded. A year ago today, our Facebook page does this memories thing. a year ago today, we posted the announcement that they had started filming. So, being on this journey, watching them film this movie, interviewing Luke Spark in December, it's been really fun for Kaiju United. And I am glad that it looks really good. Because, you know, it's been really awesome, really pushing this movie. And then the trailer comes out, and they're like, yeah, this does look awesome, Kaiju United. Yeah.
It's as if Luke Spark just sat me down and said, all right, you think it's going to look like an Asylum production? Fucking watch this. Boom.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll pull some stuff from our interview. He's, you know, when I asked him, what's your message to everyone waiting for Primitive War? What can fans of dinosaur movies expect from this movie? And he says, like I said earlier, we're not a Hollywood film. We're big in the production, but we care. So I hope people can get out and support it when it does come out, because we're going to launch it as big as we possibly can. And he was, you know, he had their sound mixing with Dolby Atmos. We're going guns blazing. Please support it. We know we're indie, but we're going to try our dang best. So, and that, to me, this film has a lot of heart. And that's cheesy, you know, Captain Planet. Yo, he's got the power of heart. But, like, as a cinema guy, indie films with heart, I will back any day of the week. Like, I know a lot of people like to go, oh, Hollywood's so unoriginal. But, like, man, indie film is crushing it right now. The Australian film industry is crushing it. We're getting dope monster movies out of Thailand, and we're getting okay King Kong ripoff movies from China. But the point is, like, the international market, man, it's awesome. Like, take a risk and check out these indie movies. Because, yeah, some of the effects might not be as polished and $100 million stuff. But, hey, I'm excited for this movie. You know, it's going to be a gritty R-rated dinosaur movie because everyone thinks dinosaurs are for kids. But the journey with KU and supporting this movie has been awesome, too. But even just as a movie, I'm just really excited. I'm excited for, like, a R-rated, rip and tear, blood and guts dinosaur movie. Because, I mean, if I'm going to be real, Jurassic World kind of plays it safe, where, like, only the bad guys die, in the last two at least. I like that nobody's safe in this movie. It kind of raises the stakes and makes it more thrilling. So, I'm very excited. It's probably my most anticipated movie of the year.
I really want to see the Spinosaurus in action.
It's the year of the Spinosaurus, man. Between this and Jurassic World.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're the Spino. And I haven't read the books, but I don't think the Spino's in the first book.
It's not. I have read the book. It's this. There is no Spinosaurus in there.
No, it's the Quetz. It's the Utah Raptor, which, thank you for representing our dinosaur.
That should be the name of your hockey team, Jacob. The Raptors. I mean, I know it's already a basketball team, but...
Yeah, the Toronto kind of took that, huh?
Well, there's the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team and the Arizona Cardinals football team.
It should have been, but our official state dinosaur is the Allosaurus, so...
Your official state dinosaur of Utah is not Utah Raptor?
There are official state dinosaurs?
There are. State fossils, too. Some have state fossils, some have state dinosaurs. New York State fossil. You have...
It's a fossil, not a dinosaur. It is the Eurypterus rempus. What?
But some have both, Nick.
Oh, that's pretty cool looking. It kind of looks like
Dude! They changed it. It is Utah Raptor.
Oh,
let's
sick.
go! Redemption.
So the state dinosaur is Utah Raptor. I think the state fossil is Allosaurus, just because we find a lot of them out here.
Massachusetts state dinosaur is Podokesaurus. I've never heard of.
So the New York state fossil is Eurypterus remips, and it's a marine bug-looking thing. It kind of looks like the crustacean version of Destroya. A little bit.
Oh, there was a runner-up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Ankylosaurus.
See, every episode we do a rabbit hole.
That's a New York state fossil right there.
Wow, your state fossil is a fish?
Lame.
Cool looking fish.
It's a cool fish, man.
It kind of looks like the Destroya microorganisms, all right?
Looks like a New Yorker.
That's my Uncle Tony. You leave him alone. On that note, This has been yet another installment of Not Another Kaiju Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please rate us 5 stars if you're listening to us on audio platforms, and if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.